You see the little shit going. That's a video. What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counter Punch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Carl the Cobra Froch. Get this. Carl Froch dismisses potential Conor Benn's opponents. He said they are mismatches. He said he's mentioned Terrence Crawford, Devin Haney. They are mismatches. He should stay well away from them. Boxing is about levels. He said to call out Davis with his boxing ability and punching power, pound for pound weight divisions aside, is also a mismatch. He said, but it's clever of Ben to mention it. He's been up at 160. Davis is at 135. It's two weight divisions, so it's a smart move, but it could still be disastrous for him. Those are the words of Carl the Cobra. And let me counterpunch. I kind of got a whiff of that, of what Conor was doing, because, you know, Conor called out Terrence Crawford. Then he said, then we know about the Davis call out or whatever. But I mean, I think that was from Davis. But then he said, well, if I could get a fight with, I think, what was it, Devin Haney or another fight? I can't remember who the fighter was that he called out right now. But, you know, no, Mario Barrios was the fighter. So he then said, oh, well, I would be over the moon if I had that fight. And I'm like, okay, well, that makes more sense than Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean? Because Terrence is looking for big fights. Because Terrence has been chopping down guys on the caliber of Ben, above and past Ben. You know what I mean? In front and behind Ben. That's a better way to explain it. And I don't think he has any more time to waste based on legacy standards on what he wants to do. And that makes sense for Terrence Crawford. So fighting Terrence knows that, hey, I have standards, and he always did. So a lot of people don't think that, oh, well, you know, why do you think that fight was so hard? Because Terrence Crawford wasn't going to take any BS fight, like any type of thing. You know, even though he knew he was going to get the smaller portion of the pot, he didn't just want to take any deal. You know, he was just being a good businessman. And a lot of people, you know, like the Earl sexuals were saying, oh, he don't want to fight and this, that, and the other, or he should take the deal because he doesn't sell and all that stuff. Well, you know, he showed everybody what happenence. And he sold Errol Spence a good ass whooping. That's what he did. Okay. But before that fight was ever made, what was he doing before that? He was beating guys up that other guys that was already recognized as the top echelon of fighters. You know, you're the Porters and the Thurmans and the Spences and the Garcias. Those guys were already like established by their promotional company because they had each other for popularity and for fuel to show that they are the best. Okay. So that being said, you know, Terrence had to fight everybody else. The Kell Brooks, the Amir Khans, the Jeff Horns, the Jose Benavidez's. You know what I mean? He had to fight these guys because there were no one else to fight, but he whooped everyone else that he could possibly beat. And I think Terrence Crawford's tired of, you know, picking away the outskirts. Now he wants straight up downtown. Okay? He wants central. And the fight, and to call out Terrence Crawford sounds ballsy. Teofimo Lopez is doing the same thing. So, you know, Conor Benn's not the only person that's doing that. But Tank Davis, you know, those type of fights like that, based on the night of fight, the fight that he had, is it a mismatch? It could be. And when I think Carl Froch said disastrous, I mean, he's talking about a knockout. See, one thing about Gervonta Tank Davis can punch, bro. And that's the bad thing about him. I mean, it sucks for him because if he knew that he was like the best fighter on the planet without help, he would be a lot better. I look at Tank Davis as like how I used to look at Canelo. Because Canelo was the same type of dude. He was with Golden Boy, and he was a very good fighter. And he fought, even when he was younger, he fought like a much experienced fighter because he's fought for so long and he's learned so much because he's been in there with so many people. You know, so at the age of 22 years old, 23 years old, he already fought like somebody that's his age now. So, you know, but he had all these concessions and all these weight drains and all these things that were set aside, all this quote unquote protection from Golden Boy. And that's the same thing that's happening to Tank Davis. If Tank Davis, you know, really, like I would love, like I love Tank Davis when he fights. Look what he did with left hooker Ryan Garcia. He didn't see that punch coming. Bow! He gets dropped, and he knew, like, oh, this guy's the real deal. You know what I mean? He said that power's real. Bars. Okay. But yeah, saying when he went to Mario Barrios and stopped him, he was like, you know what I mean? So you could see his limit. And I wish he didn't have that limit. I wish he knew, like, hey, I wish he had confidence in himself to go on up to 147. But the thing is, Conor Benn's at 147. So if Conor Benn wanted that fight like Eddie Hearn claimed, he would come down to 140 at least, or one. But then that, I don't think that would be enough. I think what'll happen with Gervonta Tank Davis, he'll call out a fight. You know, he's at 135, and then he'll say, well, hey, you know what? How about 139 or you know, or something else, because I'm not at 140. Because he doesn't want to fight anyone at 140. That's why he's at 135. But you're missing weight, though, at a lot of times. You know what I mean? Like, okay, all right, whatever. But nonetheless, you know, those are, those are mixed mismatches. They are. Because Conor Benn, you know, I think he needs to stay, you know, consistent. He does need to fight. But I think he needs to fight someone his own size. Devin Haney's not a 147-pounder. He's not a 147-pounder yet. He will be, though. So if I was Conor, I would wait. I would wait, get my resume back up, get my confidence up. I'm still undefeated. You know what I mean? Let's get the stigma of those drugs away from you. When you knock a few people out without any type of drugs or anything like that, then people will start believing in you again, and then you'll start to grow again. You know, but right now, calling these guys out, Haney, Barrios, Crawford, yeah, I think it may be just for marketability anyway. But you guys tell me what you think of Carl Froch stating that it would be disastrous if he fought Gervonta Tank Davis. Stay away. And the other people that he called out, he has no business calling out. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace!